Hi, everybody. Hope you are good. Hope you're having a lovely day, whatever you have already been up to. Maybe you've just rolled out of bed. Maybe you finished a long run. My name is Emma. If you've not joined one of these classes before, I'm so happy that you are here, all of you. And we're just going to have a bit of a play around on the mat today. And I know that sounds a little bit silly, a little bit funky, but sometimes we just need to let go of those kind of like holds and any static maybe that we often feel about some stretches and just kind of flow a little bit more into it. So not so much like heavy movement we might have done before. We've kind of come through things and kept moving in and out and in and out and out, but just not holding any one position for very long and actually moving through all of the angles and all of the stages and areas within our joints, within our motion, just to get a little bit more freestyle with it, basically. So this is more of a recovery flow. If you're looking for something that's really not going to be too tight on your muscles, but will give you a little bit more of that kind of fresh or refreshed feeling, I should say, after a long run, a heavy workout. Maybe you're just in a bit of a calming week. Maybe you've ramped things up and you just need something to just like bring you back so you feel like you're a bit more you in your body and not so tight. Then this is probably the one for you. We've just got 30 minutes. Please grab anything you need, pop your music on. You don't need anything at all, by the way, if you don't want to use anything. I'm going tool free today. So this is just you, any place you want to, with some space around you. Get yourself ready, and we will sink straight into it. We are going to start out sitting still, I should say. Doesn't mean you have to sit cross-legged. You can sit any way you wish, anywhere that's comfy. Maybe you want to hop yourself up on a cushion, and maybe you want to kneel. Maybe you want to sit with your legs all the way out front like this. That is absolutely fine. We're just going to take a couple of moments to settle, to bring our minds and our bodies into the space we're in, just to connect to our breathing just a little bit. Notice where we're at. So when you are ready, when you are comfy, bring your hands perhaps down into your lap, maybe down by your sides. Close your eyes and roll your shoulders away from your ears. Just take that nice big roll, kind of juicy stretch to open up our chests. And then breathing through your nose. We're not going to do any particular breaths. We're not going to count today. Just focus. Focus on our breathing. Take a moment to settle where you are, to be proud of where you are. Maybe you have just done something incredible in terms of any achievement. That might be running, it might be something else. Maybe you're just sitting here, quite content, ready to move a little bit. Maybe you want this to set you up for your day, your week, your month. Be proud of just being here, showing up. Take a moment to recognize that, to appreciate yourself. Letting go of everything else. It's just you. For our next little bit, this is exactly where you need to be. So whatever is coming up for you right now, whether that is that sense of achievement or just a sense of calm, trying to stay focused, settling, just see if you can hold on to that with a little bit of playfulness on the side. And gently blinking your eyes back open. Hello. We are going to come straight up into a downward dog today. So wherever you are on your mat, bring your hands down and wiggle yourself to step back into a downward facing dog. Your hips are going high and just pedaling out from here. And again, not too rigid. Let's come away from this like perfect position. I mean, nothing is perfect anyway, because we're all very different. We all have unique shapes and ways to wiggle and move our bodies. But just wiggle, maybe take a few little rocks with your hips side to side, kind of pad your feet out, maybe with your hands as well. Lift one hand up, have a little circle through your wrists. You can make a fist, draw things close, and then big stretch of our fingers. Roll your shoulders, let your head move. And just through this kind of freestyle movement, noticing if maybe we do have some sweet spots, some places that you're like, oh, I didn't realize that was a little bit tense. Maybe everywhere is tense if you've done a long run. And if that is the case, then hopefully this kind of more gentle movement. So we're not going to go fast today. We're not holding any power poses or anything like that. But this just sort of constant fluid space. Hopefully that will help you ease in. Gently walking your feet up towards your hands, taking a deep breath in, shoulders roll, chest lifts. Exhale back out. Same thing again, breathing in. Big lift up and then rolling down. Inhale, and this time again, that wiggle with your shoulders, your back. Breathing in and out. And now bending through each leg. Just letting up that leg with that hand next to your bent knee. Kind of come a bit closer down, move your chest to open up on each side. You might get a few little cracks and clicks through your knees, your ankles. We're turning our chest side to side. Next time we come over to the right, lift your right arm up. Have a big stretch. So our left knee bent, right leg fairly straight, and then come back down. Switching over to the other side, same thing. Right knee is bent, left leg is straighter, left arm is lifted. Back down, we'll switch over and just keep moving through this motion as slow or as quickly as you wish. So not feeling like we have to hold this deep stretch or really lean into it right now, just kind of wiggling, shuffling. I will probably say the word wiggle 10 more times today. Maybe take some big circles, kind of like we're swimming actually. Bit of a swim stretch through those arms, side to side. Rock your weight left and right. Next breath in, rolling ourselves all the way up to standing, opening up through your chest. Take some big circles with your arms, rolling them even all the way back. And again, some shuffles, shoulders, hips. Have a wiggle, play, shake your arms, big jazz hands. Okay, now we are going to just add a little bit more sequence into this. Hands coming behind you, interlace your fingers, taking a big roll of your shoulders, lift your chest, lift your gaze. Next breath out, starting to fold from our hips, leaning ourselves down. And again, just bringing in that movement. So side to side, leaning your chest over towards the left, over towards the right. Letting our heads be heavy. So I'm not holding my gaze and looking kind of towards the top edge of my mat. I'm just letting my head go wherever it needs to go, swaying side to side. And actually for me, kind of rolling onto the edges of my feet as well. Again, I've got some clicks and clunks through there, but it's really nice for my ankles, just to get that space. Bringing your hands back down, stepping ourselves back into a downward dog from here, all the way behind us. And then lifting your right toes up, big stretch, opening out, bring your right leg back down, switch to the other side, reaching up and back, opening and then back down. We'll do this a few more each side. So just switching over as if you're coming to a split dog, if you know what that is. That's just that bend through our knees and opening up through our hips. You probably get a nice big stretch through the front of your hips, probably down the side of your waist. Shoulders trying to draw away from our ears so our neck has a bit of space. And you may just want to adjust, particularly today when we're kind of still moving through things. You might want to adjust things and try out slightly different angles, maybe you're not used to, and see how it feels. Shoulders roll. Next time you lift your right leg up, opening out into that split dog and then stepping your foot to the front, outside your right hand. We're going to lower down our left knee and send our hips back behind us. So left knee stays bent, right leg fairly straight. My right toes are lifted. I'm walking my fingertips further forwards, breathing in as we lift our chests. Breathing out as we fold our chest back down. One more deep breath in. And out. Another time, breathing in. And out. Starting to plant down with that right foot. And if you wish, just bringing your right foot a little bit more into the middle line of your mat, lifting up through our chests. And we're going to keep this motion going. So deep breath in, lifting up through your chest, coming up to a kind of 90-degree angle with both legs. And then folding forwards as you breathe out, fingertips coming down, hips go back, toes lift. Breathing in as we lift up. Maybe a little bit more space in those hips this time, squeezing to the front, and then coming back all the way down. Breathing in as we lift. And out, and again, just flow through this motion into a bit of a twist. Your right arm going behind you, left arm going forwards. From here, just rocking back and forth. Might be a little bit wobbly. Turning back to face the top of your mat, still with those rocks through our legs, and opening up to the opposite side. So left arm goes back, right arm goes forwards. If you're anything like me, feeling a little bit more wobbly on this side, that open twist. Back to face the front, inhale, reaching your fingertips. Exhale, hands coming down, stepping ourselves back to our downward dog. Straight over to the left side, toes lifting up into a split dog, reaching back, opening out through our hips. Stepping to the front, left toes down, outside our hands. And you can take as many steps as you need. Back knee lowers down, toes untuck, sending your hips back behind you. Fingertips reaching further forwards. Using our breathing to soften a little bit. So even with this motion, or with any motion, still paying attention to our exhale and helping us to settle down into it. So our muscles using that space. Slowly lifting yourself back up to the front of your mat. If you did before, shuffle those left toes towards the middle of your mat. Breathing in as we lift our arms up. And we're coming back to that 90-degree position. And I should have said as well, if your back knee, your right knee in this position, is a little bit sore on a hard floor or anything, first of all, you can double over your mat. So just bringing it back like so, kind of relaying a few little layers onto it. And that might help just soften it a little bit. Or if you do want to bring a cushion and pop it under your back knee, that is absolutely fine. It's not going to do anything other than make you a little bit more comfy. So we have no problem with this. When you are coming up into that 90-degree position though, lifting your arms, reaching up as you breathe in. And as we breathe out, going back down into our kind of half split position, hips going backwards. And maybe you want to go a bit lower this time. You might have some more space, more warmth. Breathing in as we lift our arms up. Exhale, send your hands down, hips go back. Last time, breathing in. Breathing out. Okay, coming up and then into our twist. Inhale, opening up first of all to the left side. The left hand goes back, right arm goes forwards. Again, we can still move through this motion. And if you are going through it and you're like, oh, I just want to hold there for a second, go for it. That's kind of what this bit more playful space is about today. So it's not just that we have to be moving all the time or that we have to be still all the time. We can kind of break those rules a little bit. We like breaking some rules, just a couple. Breathing in, going back to face forwards. Into our open twist, left arm to the front, right arm behind you. Good. Reaching fingertips further away. Maybe you want to roll through your wrists. Maybe you press your hands away. You might get a bit of tingle actually through your forearms if you do that one. Next breath in, reaching up. Exhale, hands coming down, stepping our way back into our downward dogs. And then walking back to the top of your mat. Deep breath in, shoulders roll, chest lifts. Exhale, fold. Inhale as you lift. Exhale, release. Have a wiggle, hold on to opposite elbow, perhaps sway side to side. Again, you can bend your knees as much as you wish. Letting go of our elbows and slowly lifting ourselves back up to standing. Nice big roll of your shoulders. Find that space. Okay, moving into a wide fold from here. So stepping yourself to face the long edge of your mat. And I'm coming to about 2 hip distances apart. You may want to come a little bit closer together, a little bit wider. It's totally up to you. See where you're comfy. We're going to do a forward fold in a second. To start with, we're just going to bring our hands behind us, interlacing your fingers, just like this. Same thing we did before, rolling our shoulders, lifting our chest, lifting our gaze. And then folding forwards, really hinging from your hips. Feel that motion coming forwards. And then let your chest come down. Hands are still interlaced at our backs. You can either keep your hands close to your spine or maybe you're reaching them up and back. And again, we're going to rock left and right. bend one knee, straighten through the other leg. Now on this one, I would say, if you have tight hips, if your legs are really feeling it, we're not going to go all the way down to the ground, okay? We're staying up fairly high, fairly lifted. This is a gentle recovery. This is not a end of range, full motion kind of situation. If you want to come down here and this feels great to you and you have no problems, be my guest. But if you're actually happier today, hands behind you, just rocking side to side, this is what we're doing. We're staying here. When you're ready, let your hands come all the way down onto your mat and walking over towards your left leg. Give your left leg a nice big cuddle. Squeeze yourself close. And just taking a few deep breaths. A little bit more still here. Reset your breathing nice and deep. Slowly exhale. Should be feeling a nice big stretch down through the back of our left leg, maybe into your lower back as well. And let's walk our way over to our right leg, holding onto our legs. A nice cuddle. Arms maybe wrapping around your thigh, your knee, your calf. Bring yourself close. Kind of curling up with our chest, our head close down towards our legs. And then letting go. Again, just come back to that little bit of movement, rocking side to side. Slowly lifting yourself up all the way to the top. And again, roll it out. Heel toe your feet in, come back to standing, have a shake out through your legs. Maybe some circles again for your ankles. Maybe come up onto your tiptoes, kind of feel that weight, rock forwards and backwards. And I know this might seem a bit silly, but we just never kind of roll through all these planes of movement. We often just stick to our quite static moves. Even us as people that do more exercise than we care to admit sometimes, we often just forget that actually things aren't so rigid, right? So have a play. Okay, coming down into a squat. So again, gentle squat. If you want to pop a little cushion or a block behind you and sit onto that, that is absolutely good today. Feet about hip distance, maybe a little bit wider actually, depends on where you're at. We're bringing our arms all the way out and then lowering ourselves down. So you may stay here, your kind of hips fairly in line with your knees, and we're moving side to side, getting a bit of ankle mobility in. If this feels a bit tough on your legs particularly, then maybe see if you can come lower with your hands a little bit further down, supporting you on the mat, so that we're not just absorbing all that weight in our legs. We can still do same motion. If you wish to come all the way down, hips by your ankles, then still sway, move. Hands may be up by your chest if you wish. I actually just kind of like my hands kind of moving a little bit more today. Not so static, not so like, oh, perfect. No, we're not doing that right now. In fact, we're going to go for a bit more of a side stretch. So next time you come over to your left side, bringing your fingertips down. If you're halfway lifted, just bring them down outside your toes. If you're really low down with your hips next to your ankles, bring them in front of your foot, possibly off your mat. That's okay to be off your mat. Lift your right arm up, opening out. And then we'll rock to the other side. Same position for your right hand, opening all the way up, reaching high. And release, come back down, rock to the other side. Opening out, switching. One more time over to the left. And to the right. Release, come down, hands down at the front of your mat. Once more, going back into our downward dogs. And then lowering your knees down onto the ground again. You can pop that cushion underneath them if you wish. Settling ourselves into a child's pose. Bottom comes back towards your heels. Still staying with this little rock, and you might want to make it smaller. You might want to go a little bit slower now. Maybe you stay as you are. Maybe your knees wiggle to the outside edges of your mat to let your chest have more space. Slowly lifting ourselves up to seated. Rolling your shoulders back, hands coming to one side, let your legs both go out the other direction, so they're both out in front of us now. Okay, so we have actually done quite a lot of hip work. You'd be surprised to know that in all of that movement, we've kind of wiggled through our backs, through our hips, our legs, our arms, our shoulders. And we're going to just take it a little bit slower as we come towards the second half, or in the second half of our time. We're going to move again into a 90-90 actually. We love 90 degrees today. So bringing your left leg in front of you, and it's almost 90 degrees, doesn't matter if it's not quite. Your left knee is going to be, your left shin even, is kind of parallel with the front of your mat, fairly parallel. And then your right knee is out to the side. So we're going to start by walking our hands out forwards, breathing in. Soften as you breathe out. One more, breathing in and out. And then rolling ourselves all the way up. Can we take things backwards the other direction? Hands behind us. You might just be lowering to here. Maybe you're lowering onto your forearms. I'm not quite sure I can go any lower right now. I've got lots of space coming through that right leg. And we're lifting ourselves straight back up, so not holding it. Going back forwards. Breathing in and out. Slowly lifting up. So it's not rapid fluid movement. It's still controlled, still steady. But we're just not going to hold things too long. Kind of rocking yourself in your own time, to your own pace, whatever feels good, between these two sides, forwards over your shin and backwards, leaning back to the other end of your mat. Once you get back to the next forward position, just lean into it a teeny bit more. And then we'll lift ourselves back up. We're going to sweep ourselves around to the other side. So by lifting up onto both feet, knees staying lifted to the top of the room, and then twisting over. We should be in roughly the same position. You might need to shuffle yourself back, further forwards, whatever is comfy. Remember, we're coming back to that kind of 90 degree position. So right shin this time is in front of us. Left shin is out to our sides. And we can again wiggle this a little bit more if we need to. So do not worry about that. Breathing in as you lift up. Exhale, fingertips out in front. 2 more deep breaths here. Lift your chest slightly as you breathe in. As you breathe out, fold forwards. One more time, breathing in and out. And let's lift ourselves all the way up and back. Slowly making our way. Again, you may get to here. You may come all the way down onto your backs. You could be way flat on the ground right now. This is your body. Listen to where you can go to. Gently move yourself back up. Let's switch to come forwards again. And all the way up. So you'll probably feel like on this way back, it's a little bit more intense, particularly for our left side from here. And that's kind of why we're not staying there too long. We're just easing ourselves into it, taking a little bit of time. And if once we've finished with this class, you want to come and sit in this position and you go, actually, that's going to be a really nice hold for me and it's going to be great, then please do that. That's absolutely fine. You don't have to finish just because we close things off, right? You can carry on moving, being in whichever position works. So gently rocking yourself backwards, forwards, maybe kind of rounding yourself a little bit as you come over your shin next time. Deep breath in. Slow exhale out. Gently lifting our chest up away from our hips. And this time bringing your legs in towards you. Knees up, feet down on the ground. Just going to give ourselves a bit of a hug. Arms wrap around your legs, curl yourself in. Unraveling, bringing your hands down behind you. Shuffling yourself to come lying on your back. Moving ourselves into a happy baby. So your knees up, close by your chest. Feet up towards your ceiling. And maybe just holding onto your ankles here. Maybe holding onto the outside edge of each foot. Our knees are kind of aiming to draw down towards our underarms, our shoulders. And we can move any way we wish. This is actually one of those postures where people don't often stay still in. So we can wiggle, we can rock, we can sway. We can maybe straighten one leg, keep the other one bent. Feel that big stretch down through the back of your calf into your hamstring. That feels good. Move side to side. As I always say, it's called a happy baby. Move around, wiggle, send those tailbones towards the other end of your mat. Have a bit of a shuffle. Maybe you just want to hold a little bit for that sweet spot down through your leg. Maybe your back is actually really enjoying this sort of left and right motion. Sometimes people feel like it's a bit of a massage on your lower back as you rock side to side here. So if it feels good, then keep going. Enjoy it. Maybe you want to let go of your feet. Maybe just send your toes, your legs up. Circle through your ankles, maybe stretch your arms. This might feel really nice, by the way, actually, if you have very tight legs. At any point, if you just sit with your legs up against a wall, not that my legs are up against a wall right now, but sometimes that can just feel so nice. Just take the weight off. Totally take the weight off. Okay. Bringing your legs down, give yourself a nice big cuddle. Arms wrap around your shins. And then bringing your feet back down onto the ground. Maybe a window wipe with your knees side to side. When you're ready, we're coming back to still, just like we were at the beginning, but this time lying on your mat. And just take a few deep breaths. Start to notice how it feels after all that movement to be still. It might take you a little bit of time. You might feel like you just want to wiggle your ankles or move your fingers, and that's okay. You can move your fingers, you can move your ankles, but do give yourself 30 seconds or so at least of just being still. It's not always the easiest thing to find, that bit of stillness, but we've done the movement. Now we're just taking it in. Softening through your jaw, your shoulders. One more deep breath in. Slow breath out. Maybe finding a stretch. Arms go back, legs go forwards. Maybe just lifting yourself up gently to seated. Again, any comfy seated position that you wish. Does not have to be any particular shape. Closing your eyes when you get there though. Let your hands rest. And just coming back to what we started out with. Be proud of yourself for being here, for showing up, for doing something a little bit different, maybe a little bit scary, maybe a little bit odd. But how did it feel? Was it good? Do you feel refreshed? Do you feel like actually you've got a little bit more motion in you right now? Do you feel more settled, more at peace, more just listening to your body? You know yourself that little bit more because you did this. You were here. Finding one more releasing breath altogether, breathing in through our noses and out through our noses. Lovely big inhale. And out. Thank you so, so much for doing something a bit different today. I am proud of you. That was a little bit funky. It was a bit weird, and that's cool. That's good. There can be lots more where that came from, I promise you. If you have any questions, if you ever want to chat about anything, please do message me on the group. I am right there for anything that you might need. Any advice I can help you get, I can give, please just ask the question. You're all good. Have a lovely rest of your day, whatever you are doing. and I'll see you very soon. Bye.